Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So after a long break, we were finally able to go on our much awaited trip to Cancun, Mexico. This was our first trip out of United States in the last 1 year and we were really excited to get here. We flew out of Portland and caught the red eye, and as soon as we hit the morning and were approaching our destination, we couldn't believe that our eyes were opening up to such magnificent and beautiful landscapes. And right then and there, we knew this was going to be one hell of a trip. As we landed at the airport, we didn't take time catching the shuttle to our hotel, which was not too far away as it was located in the hotel zone. After reaching at the hotel, we immediately checked in, had our luggages sent to our rooms, and we stepped out of the hotel lobby and entered the back side where the amazing pools, beautifully decorated cafes and restaurants, and of course the colorful beaches were awaiting us. And one can tell from Sonia's expressions that how excited we both were to be here in such a warm and cozy place, leaving behind the gloomy and the cold weather of Portland. I mean, this place was absolutely reeking with energetic people and vibrant colors all around, and the sun was making this look all the more beautiful. We stayed at the JW Marriott and they had their own Cancun sign written at the back of their property. After meandering around the property for at least an hour, we took a break and had this delicious Mexican lunch. Amazingly, they had vegan options and were so good. And soon after that, we went up to our rooms to check out how beautiful the views were from up here. And needless to say, we were just as amazed as we were at the beach. The room was beautifully lit, it was well decorated and was aptly spaced for a vacation couple like us. This place had a huge bathroom with plenty of closet space, and they also had a bathtub, which was good to have for the price that we had paid, although we were not going to use it, and the shower space was plenty as well. And we haven't even told you the best part of this room. This was the Ocean View Deluxe room, and the views from our balcony were just amazing. I mean, both of us were so amazed that we stood there for roughly 2 minutes not doing anything but just absorbing these beautiful colors. Soon after this, we decided to head down to the beach and hit the pool. Sonia particularly was interested in getting down into the water, obviously not the sea water because she's too afraid to go in there, but definitely the pool because it seemed very enticing. This resort has multiple pools, all of which are kid friendly, and the one Sonia got inside was particularly beautiful because it was overlooking the beach and also the resort from a good distance. And while you are in the pool, you also have the option of ordering drinks or snacks, which we saw a lot of folks doing. Immediately after this, we decided to take a stroll down at the beach, and we learned that no part of the beach is restricted to a particular property. You can feel free to roam as much as you can. After freshening up, we came down to the hotel lobby only to be swayed by the delicious smell of guacamole and salsa. This evening snack was complimentary and was part of our package that we had booked. The whole combination of fresh salsa, guacamole and tortillas was heavenly. And so we both decided to fill up as much as we could. It was almost late in the evening when we got up to our room and we decided to relax in our balcony and watch the sun go down. We got up the following morning only to be excited for what was going to come. We had booked a tour package for that day that was going to take us to 3 most beautiful places around Cancun. Obviously, this was not a private tour, so we had fellow passengers along with us on this tour. And of course, a tour guide who was helping us explain everything in English, especially for non-native speakers like us. Our first destination along the way were the ruins of Tulum. Tulum was one of the largest cities constructed and inhabited by the ancient Mayans. The ruins are situated on the 12-meter tall cliffs along the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula on the Caribbean Sea. This is one of the greatest cities built by the Mayans between the 13th and the 15th centuries. And we learned later that Maya continued to occupy Tulum for about 70 years after the Spanish began occupying Mexico. Tulum is one of the best preserved coastal Maya sites, and it is not only famous for its unique architectural style, but also for its location. This archaeological site is pretty big, so ideally one can spend an entire day here. But the 2 most important buildings that our tour guide highlighted was the main temple and the temple of the god. There was a lot of history about this temple that our tour guide explained to us, which we clearly don't remember. But what we do remember is seeing this exquisite and beautiful creature, iguanas, which we have never ever seen before. The iguanas are commonly seen here among these ruins and basking in the sun, as there is no one to disturb them. What struck us the most was the view of these beautiful ruins on the backdrop of the colorful sea. While you are not allowed to go inside these ruins, you are definitely allowed to walk around them. We spent some time mostly close to the beach as we couldn't resist getting away from this amazing sight. And we noticed a few boats out in the ocean, and we learned later that these boats were primarily for snorkelers who were trying to explore the wildlife and the beautiful reefs of this region. On the way out, we noticed a few men dressed as what we could have probably guessed Mayans. And honestly, they were looking quite impressive. We also stopped by at our first souvenir shop. Our next stop was the famous Akumal Bay. The Akumal Bay is located just a few miles north of the Tulum, and it is famous for its beautiful beach, shallow waters, and underwater wildlife sighting, particularly stingrays and green sea turtles. This was our first snorkeling experience as a couple, and needless to say, this was going to be one crazy experience.
Ready to swim or snorkel?
I'm pretty nervous, guys, but I have to do it because I want to see the turtles.
Yes, it's turtle time.
And the next thing we know, we are wearing our snorkeling gear right up on the boat, approaching deep sea and into the water. We also had a professional photographer take photos and videos of us while we were snorkeling. And as we were inside the water, we could see the beautiful reefs and the seagrass beds. We started seeing beautifully colored fishes, at times very close to us. And the first big sighting as a group was these couple of stingrays buried under the white sand of the sea. The tour guide was helping us navigate through these waters for ones who were not able to do so, and was constantly calling out if he saw a turtle. And within a matter of time, we hit our first jackpot, a big green sea turtle feeding on the green grass afar. We were a little disappointed as we couldn't go closer to the turtle, as that region was protected and only accessible to researchers. But we found solace looking at other beautiful creatures inside the ocean, like this weird fish over here trying to get inside the mud, digging something up, or this vibrantly blue fish casually swimming around among other not so colorful fishes. But then we were suddenly called upon to get our first close-up look of this amazing turtle here. And soon after this, we started spotting turtles one after another. Obviously, we were not allowed to get very close to these turtles, as that would mean harming the nature and their natural habitat. What is interesting about these turtles is that once in a while, they swim up to the top of the water to get a breath of air and dive right back down. And luckily, I was able to capture that moment in my camera. Can you spot Sonia in the background? We spent roughly about an hour inside the water while spotting many more turtles on the way. And towards the end, we came up to the shore and were ready to walk out with happy memories.
You know, guys, what happened? The turtle just came up to the water and just very close to me, and I froze.
That was one hell of an experience, guys. Yeah, totally worth it.
Our next and the final stop on this tour was going to be Cenotes. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but this was the Ishtun Cenote. A cenote is a natural pit or sinkhole resulting from the collapse of limestone bedrock that exposes groundwater. There are said to be an estimated 10,000 cenotes just within the Yucatan Peninsula. As a part of this tour, we were given life jackets to go down to these caves and swim in the water-filled sinkholes. It is said that these cenotes were the water supplies for the ancient Maya and were occasionally used for sacrificial offerings. Our tour guide had brought with us a couple of torchlights that were going to be helpful as it was going to be dark down in the caves. And as soon as we entered the caves, we started noticing these icicle-shaped formations that hung from the ceilings of the cave. These formations are called stalactites and they are just here everywhere. In some places, these stalactites are a few foot long and quite sharp. Following our tour guide's instructions, we jumped into the cave water and started swimming in the direction he was leading us. The water here was calmer, slightly colder, and we were able to navigate pretty easily. And on the way we could see these stalactites hanging at various locations with different shapes and sizes. Our guide spent plenty of time walking us through these different limestone formations and was also giving us the history of this place. Midway of the tour, we had to step out of the water to do a short walk, and we also noticed these limestone formations emerging from the bottom of the cave floor growing upwards. These are referred to as stalagmites. While Sonia and I have previously seen caves and these stalactite and stalagmite formations, we have never been this amazed. This place is a living example of nature's perfect creation and how these fragile structures have stood up for such a long time. After the tour ended, we had our lunch at a place that was right outside the cenote. Since this was the end of the tour, the guide gathered us all to show some of the best pictures of our trip. There were also some personal photos that were available for purchase, and we decided to get them. By the time we were dropped off at our hotel, it was already 7:30 in the evening. So instead of going too far, we chose a dinner place that was right in the hotel premises. This was the beautifully elegant Kasai Izakaya restaurant. The place was a little expensive compared to the others, but it had something that the other restaurants didn't. This place is famous for its hibachi or teppanyaki style cooking. For someone who doesn't know, this style of cooking involves grilling food over an open flame in front of the guests. We both got to witness the great knife and grilling skills of this amazing chef who prepared us our meals. This was a very unique experience for us. We had so much fun, not just eating, but also watching him cook this delicious Japanese food, while also having a little fun of our own.
1, 2, 3. Oh! 3. Oh! 1, 2, 3. Oh!
And that was our end of our trip from day one. Needless to say, this was one trip that we are going to remember for the rest of our lives. We saw ancient Mayan structures, saw iguanas, swam alongside turtles, spotted stingrays, and witnessed these cave structures that almost feels like something you would see on a different planet. Although we were pretty tired at the end of the trip, but we never once felt that this trip was boring or not worth it. There is so much to see and do around Cancun, and this was just a start for us. Hope the pictures do enough justice to this place and lure at least a few of you to plan your next vacation here. Thank you for sticking with us on our channel. If you've liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more daily updates. We will see you back with us in our next video, where we'll take you to yet another amazing location near Cancun. Watch out for part 2 of our Cancun vlog in the next video. See you next time.